Thank you, and thank you, Taoiseach, for being with us here today in Seanad, Éireann, and for outlining the work of the newly established Child Poverty and Wellbeing Programme in your office in a very real way, giving truth to the pledge in the 1916 proclamation, which is in the main hall of Leinster House, cherishing all the children of the nation equally. Taoiseach, last year and over the last number of years, the members of Seanad Éireann have implemented the Seanad reform recommendations that were in the various reports that were within the power of the Seanad to do. But there were other recommendations which we needed government decision on, and one of those was the issue of the scrutiny of EU directives by way of statutory instrument. And this was to stop the democratic deficit that is currently in place, where government departments add to those EU laws and no TD or Senator or even Oireachtas committee see them before they are signed into Irish legislation. And the decision to establish a Seanad Select Committee on that was taken last year by the Cabinet with the support of your predecessor and yourself in relation to that important work. And the order of reference of the committee is that the committee may examine proposals for any statutory instrument being made under Section 3 of the European Communities Act. Unfortunately, at the first meeting with the Minister for EU Affairs, he said that he was not able to give a commitment to the committee that we would get those statutory instruments. Taoiseach, I would ask you to meet with the chair of the EU Scrutiny Committee in relation to statutory instruments and the other members of the committee so that we could do the work that we were established to do and end the democratic deficit in relation to the scrutiny of EU laws that affect all the people in this country. One of the key commitments also in Seanad reform was the issue of public consultation committees, and the one we're working on at the moment is in relation to the future of local democracy. We saw last week the attack on our democracy here, but local democracy in Ireland is not as it should be. The Council of Europe, in a report that is going to be published officially, is going to outline that we are the worst in Europe, and we see the lack of people getting engaged in local democracy. Now, we all have problems in all our parties, independents as well, in getting people to run. We are finding it hard to get women to run, and that's not a surprise given the abuse on social media. We look forward to your contribution in relation to that important debate in this chamber so that we can protect the issue of our local democracy. And you yourself went from local democracy to national democracy. In 10 years' time, where are our national politicians going to come from if we can't get them to look at that? And finally, the other issue that we are looking at in this Seanad is the constitutional future of the island of Ireland. We're doing that under the Seanad Public Consultation Committee. We've had people from all traditions in this. We've especially listened to the voices of young people and the unionist community. And I agree with you, there will be no surprise to that I believe, as you said, that we are on a pathway to unification, and I believe that will happen in your lifetime and my lifetime, hopefully as well. I hope we live a long life, because the lesson of Brexit is you do not hold a referendum without the proper planning and preparation. The committee, the all-party committee, in its conclusions stated that it is clear that what we do in the next 10 years will decide the next 100 years on this island. Taoiseach, we look forward to working with all the minority voices on this island, and the theme of Seanad 100 was minority voices, major change. We had 30% of the Seanad used to be made up of the Protestant unionist voices in our Seanad 100 years ago. So we look forward to being a central part of that debate. But finally, we will then be able to fulfil that pledge in the Constitution that you talked about, and we look forward to working with you on that one. As I said at the beginning, resolved to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally. Thank you for being here today, Taoiseach. Thank you.